After sitting around being bored out of my mind, trying to find games I can play and get out of the gacha meta and also get a game that's not Overwatch, I stumbled upon a fantastic game. Especially if you're a person who loves loot and shooters, you came from Destiny, you came from Warframe. I think this game might be one of the things you might want to check out, maybe do a little bit of research on. Because I was able to give it a test out because of the beta that happened a few weeks back. And so with that being said, I wanted to show you guys and talk about my experience with the first Descendant. Welcome everyone, this is Lofi Nole, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. If you like the content, then feel free to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification button. You know, the usual thing that everyone says on this channel. I want to also add, this video ain't going to be too long. I'm just really going to dive in like what I saw and what I think about it, and talk about the good and bad, and then go about my day. So enjoy the video. Now, I didn't hear too much about this game, and honestly I didn't really know that it was actually having a beta until the first day of the beta, and I stumbled upon it because I was just bored out of my mind, and I thought, well, I'm looking for a game that's not Overwatch. I'm also looking for a game that's not a gacha and that's not MMO style. I'm looking for just the old loot and shooter. I was just gonna hit up some Borderlands anyway. But anyway, I stumbled upon here, and then I saw the first Descendant. I started watching a couple streams, some few videos. I was like, man, this sounds like a game up my alley. So I want to first talk about like what I think of it. I think the game is very fun. I enjoy it. I enjoy the characters. I enjoy the scenery, how you farm for the characters. Everything about it, I really enjoyed it for the most part. And it wasn't really that hard to dive into it or to understand it or to know what runes or what guns to really run, stuff like that. It was really simple for the most part. And what really pulled me in was the style of just the loot and shooter aspect to it, because I love loot and shooters. I think loot and shooter games are very niche, and they need to be more prevalent, and they need to be put out there a lot more. And so this game didn't really shy away from the whole loot and shooter in my eyes. I think there's a lot of things they could tweak on, obviously, and this is just a beta, and I hope they do tweak on a lot of things. But the characters, the scenery, and hands down the abilities of different characters are awesome. I enjoyed it. So I want to talk about the characters now. The game gave us 10 different characters to try to get or farm, whatever case may be, and you start off with 3 characters and you get 1 for free technically. And so almost every single character in the game had unique abilities. All of them had 4 abilities that you can use, learn, play around, and then also put mods or runes or whatever you want to call them on them to make them stronger or weaker, depending on how you want to do it. And it was so unique, and it made them feel like they're not the same. Almost 2 characters in this game just felt like they was kind of the same. They ran out ideals for those 2 characters, and so with that being said, I wish they would have probably thought it through a little bit more on those 2 characters. But overall, all the characters had really good and fun abilities. Also, some of them have very unique things about them. You even had different elements. So one character had poison, another character had ice, another character had fire, and one character had a berserk mode. One character made it to where you had to stay moving and have electric damage. Another character was stealth mode. Like, they felt so unique and different. Like, they fit roles and they felt nice to play. And so me personally, I think they did hands down well on the characters. Just need to tweak on 2, all honesty, in my head. And maybe tweak some of the characters' levels, or not levels, ability numbers and stuff. But I don't really know everything because I only got to play 2. I was only just reading and doing a little research on it. I will probably add in anything that I find on the internet that was having issue with. I do gotta stop the video on that note, because after diving on Reddit, I found numerous and a lot of information about the beta and different things that even I didn't know. And it was a good thing. You know, I want to really say that anyone who had posted on the first Descendant beta Reddit gave really good, helpful feedback for the devs to make the game better. A lot of different things that was going on. I just want to do a little shout out for everyone that posted there, because it shed a light on what they need to fix in the game. I also want to take back one of the points that I said about the characters in my statement or in my video here, because I only played 2 characters, so I don't really know. But when I was reading on Reddit, it showed that only 2 characters out of the 10 really got benefits from playing. So with that being said, they may want to fix on that or change some things up. But I do want to harp on 2 people throughout the Reddit that I see that I thought did a really good job outlining a lot of different things. First person I want to say is Veterus Gray. I cannot pronounce names. And Gigawello. They're going to be on the screen. But I would definitely say that they did a really good job on talking about the mission bugs, the changes, elite enemies, regular enemies, instant bosses, audio, Descendants, ruins, a lot of it. And then also Gigawello talked about the elemental stuff that I didn't really too much get to see because, again, I only played like 2 characters. And so I would highly recommend that you do go on Reddit and check them out because they did a phenomenal job telling the problems and the issues of what the beta had and gave really good feedback on it. I mean, I'm going to have it on the screen while I'm talking to give you a little bit of an idea that you want to read. I will also put it down below in the comments for you guys to also check it out for yourself. But to just go ahead and touch on it real quick, I definitely say on the Descendants part, it did seem like only 1 to 2 characters really was a big use versus all 10 of them. And so I definitely liked it that they did point out the few things. I didn't want to make this video super long on the problems and all the other things, which is why I want to just dumb down and make my content smaller on the problems. But definitely go check out the Reddit and see what other people have posted on there. And just want to say again, everyone who posted on the Reddit gave really good feedback on it. I think I didn't really find anyone that was really just complaining just to complaining. So with that being said, back to the video. Next thing I want to talk about is the scenery. The scenery was nice. If you have ever played like Destiny, or you have played Borderlands or Warframe or Outriders, any of these loot and shooter games, the premise of it was the same. But it's a good thing. It's a good thing. You will load into a world or load into a area. It's big, it has different things going on. Every area was different, it was unique, and they all had something different about them. The enemies was different, and it made it enjoyable playing the game. I did enjoy the scenery 100%. And I think the scenery was like, it wasn't like the best thing, but it was enjoyable. The next thing I do want to talk about is the enemies. The enemies actually felt like they was trying to kill you. Like, I know how if you have played Warframe before or any other loot and shooter game, sometimes the enemies are just stupid and the AI doesn't really try to kill you. But with this game, the enemies did feel like they was trying to get rid of you, especially when you was doing like these little venture missions where they last to one wave all the way up to 10, and every time you went up, like, the enemies felt strong in most cases. Hopefully after the beta, the enemies will stay like this and actually be a challenge. If you have ever played Division before, any of them, then you'll understand that those enemies do not play. And that's the type of feeling that I got when I was playing this game, which is fantastic. The next thing I want to talk about is like the little runes or the upgrading thing that you could put on your character or your weapons in general. I found it really not that challenging to understand and also even upgrade in most cases. If you ever played Warframe before, or what's another game? Division or one of those, they give you like a mod or give you like something put on your abilities or your weapons, and then they increase the damage, maybe increase the fire rate, maybe increase your max health, etc, etc. And so this is what I mean by that. The only thing that I wish they could do is maybe tweak it a little bit, tweak the UI of it, or the how people know different things. It was already like understandable, but I will say there are a few things that I think would be beneficial, but I'm gonna save that for like the negative side. And finally, I also liked it to where every time you spawn into another area, or map, whatever case may be, you was able to find people that was either doing the same mission or just in the same area as you, and they had no problem joining in or even helping you. Every time I saw one person doing a mission that I had to do, I had no problem being like, hey, I can join in, boom, and we do it together. And it felt not bad, actually. It felt really well to play with other people. It wasn't that hard to like join or to have people playing the same mission or doing the same thing that you need to do, which is fantastic. That makes it feel as though like we're able to play with other people and we are able to work together on different missions. So, but the negative things that I did find with this game is, one, going back to the characters. There was 2 characters in the game that had the same ability. The first one and I think the second one or third one. Come on now. I'm just saying, if we're going to make a game that's going to have like 10 different characters, we don't need the exactly, and I mean exactly the same abilities, okay? Could have been different. Just saying. The second thing that I also found that was negative towards me was also the bugginess of it sometimes. Since this is a beta, I understand, but it did feel kind of buggy. It felt like Outriders. So you have ever played Outriders before and you was working with other people, it felt kind of buggy-ish on those cases. The enemies may be lagging a little bit. Maybe you'll get lagged out. Maybe it's hard to see who's shooting at what, stuff like that. So that's the only big issue that I found with the bugginess of the game. The next thing I want to also add is the ruins that I was saying, the little tweaky thing that they could add. I think just generally making some of the ruins like have like the character icons on them to just know what thing works for what character, to maybe give people a more of a visual ideal of, okay, this will work. Because when I was playing one of the characters, she was like a berserker mode, and it was really like a give or take. If you went in her berserker mode, then it was harder for you to regen, but you get more damage, and then there was a way to work around it. Your passive will give you ability, not abilities, but give you health and whatnot. The problem that I found was whenever I was messing with the ruins, sometimes I didn't know that it didn't work with leech. Until I actually sat down and reread the ability. So I would probably recommend maybe like putting like the little icons on there to maybe know what works. Another thing that could be a negative is making in-game or making some of this hard content like time gated. I really dislike the time gated that a lot of other loot shooter games have started to do. And to use Outriders as an example, I think the game was really, really fun, but the in-game of it really sucked because it wasn't really in-game. It felt more as I had to beat a timer, and then on top of that, the enemies was annoying. So I think with this game, I found it more fun whenever we had like buttloads of enemies going crazy, having to defend something, having to stay alive, stay in a bubble, and like do different things. I think that's more enjoyable for like an in-game type of content, or fighting big bosses, even that. Just not time gated. So I would hopefully think that if they are going to add some type of in-game to it, don't make it time gated. And it's okay if you add it, but don't make everything time gated. Maybe add a few other in-games that are not time gated. But with all that being said, I think that's about it that I wanted to say on this game. My final take on it is 100%. This is probably a game that's up my alley, and I probably want to play it on stream and also get it for myself. And if you guys do want to see me play it or see me play other games, then feel free to hit me up on my Twitter or to go on twitch.tv/Lofi Nole, and you'll find me playing games on there. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and leave a comment down below. What do you think? You know, how do you feel about the game? You know, what was your opinion? Did you play the beta? What did you think of it? And other than that, I will catch you guys in the next one.